Hey YouTube, this is Robin1 here, and I'm here to review Flash, the Nuclear Man. So let's get started. This episode was really good, especially the end. They've got some killer endings on this show. And I really appreciated the extra information about Firestorm. And so in this episode, we start off from where we left off, with Ronnie slash, let's just call him Firestorm, with Firestorm exploding into these, into this, huge explosion. But the explosion actually, because of the device that Ronnie wears, the explosion isn't harmful, and actually manages to separate Ronnie from, I want to say, I can't remember the other guy's name, it's annoying. But basically it splits Ronnie from his other half. So we have these two individual characters. And basically they're allowed to go home and become their own person, really. And meanwhile we have Barry learn the fact that he will eventually go back in time and to his mother when he fights Reverse Flash. So, and it begins the it begins the exploration of time travel. This opens so many doors for both the Arrow universe and for this universe. It opens so many doors for other universes as well, i.e. the movie universe, the actual continuity of DC. It stretches to being able to go into other, into not just Flash and Arrow, but, you can go into the Smallville universe, you can go into, all kinds of, different aspects, and be able to time travel. We can not only just see the future, but we can see the past and the present, and all these different elements towards it. But before I go on a rather long theory on that, I just wanted to touch upon a few details in this episode. And as I mentioned earlier, I really appreciated the explanation of Firestorm. And I don't know a lot about the character. I refer to myself as a DC fan, and yet I surprisingly don't know a lot about DC right now. One of my aims for this year is to actually get more into DC. But yeah, just I would like to, I like the fact that I got to know Firestorm, and that Firestorm actually became quite a likeable character. It was great to see, Dr. Snow actually, be able to explore, what would happen, Caitlin Snow, what would happen if she actually got to be back with Ronnie. when Ronnie leaves, she isn't a heartbroken character. And I think her experiences in Star Labs has made her a stronger character. And she's a lot more focused on trying to save people, which is great. I really liked, and I also think Ronnie is becoming his own hero in his own right. In this episode, we have Ronnie and his other half merge back into Firestorm, and I really liked that. There's a really cool scene in this episode with Flash and Ronnie just flying and running towards the screen, and it was great because we're beginning to see a supporting cast of heroes, which is going to be particularly interesting when CW finally brings us the Justice League characters. That hasn't been announced, guys, but you can bet your bottom dollar it's gonna happen, because just seeing all these characters beginning to form is really cool. We also have F.I.R.E.S.T.O.R.M beginning to look into Star Labs a bit more, and I think this is going to lead quite nicely into the stuff that's happening with Harrison Wells, who we do finally get to see in suit, because Harrison Wells actually takes on that general guy that we've been seeing, and the general guy is actually killed in the end by none other than Grodd, who we finally get to see. Grodd doesn't look that great. As I mentioned a few episodes ago, I really want Grodd, when they do season 2, and when they bring back Grodd in some manner, I really want Grodd to be done using motion capture. I think the motion capture elements for to illustrate Grodd's movements, to act like an ape, kind of have that whole Planet of the Apes vibe, would really work for the character. Because I'm not too impressed with the CGI. Obviously, I acknowledge that this is a TV budget, but I'd just like to see that happen. But it was great to see the team up between Harrison Wells and Grodd. That was really cool. Now we get on to the time travel bits of the episode, and this is where it was the most interesting, because we're already starting to see Barry's mentality that creates Flashpoint. We see his desire to actually go back in time and go fix things, and go save his mother. But as we know from Flashpoint, this creates a paradox where the Flash never existed, which means we may see characters like Arrow get a change of origin. And again, the concept of time travel opens so many doors for this continuity. As I said earlier on in this review, I'm going with a theory, and I think the theory might be proven false, I'm going with the theory that Flash from Flashpoint and the original Earth Prime universe creates this universe as a direct consequence for changing the past. And basically, this version of Flash is seeing, is not actually seeing himself. He's seeing his alternate version of himself. And that creates the desire to change the past. Which as Flash does so, he creates another Flashpoint event for his universe. If you're with me so far, well done. But if you're with me so far, I think what we're basically going to see is we're going to see this version of Flashpoint. But what created that, what created that version is the comic book version. And basically what we're seeing is we're seeing both the comic book version and this version be loosely based on, be loosely connected. Which then also might mean, again, we might get to see the Marvel universe, we might get to see the DC cinematic universe, we might get to see Constantine, we might get to see Gotham, and basically all of these elements that we want to see might wind up bridging together. So, we'll just see what happens, but again, as Sony and Marvel have just proven, anything is possible. You know, companies have been known to merge before, or create partnerships. So, who knows, we might see a Constantine teaming up with Flash, or teaming up with Arrow. You know, anything's possible. So that's my review. Again, so many interesting elements in this episode. And we're slowly seeing the doors for possibilities, which is really, really good news. So stay tuned for my Arrow review, and then my Gotham review. So stay tuned for that. I'm Robert@1 here, and I shall see you later for another Flash review. Bye.